be speaking to Randall, Tex Cobb, and much, much more, but I think we're ready for our next set of introductions. We're going to be bringing them in with the spotlight again.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike, these are two boxers that I know very well, and this should be a very good fight. My prediction, it goes to 6 rounds.
Well, I hope your prediction is good. Okay.
Well, for the fans, I hope it's good. I've got a hometown favorite, but let's see what develops.
And I think we're ready to go up for the official introductions. Bring them in via spotlight. Here is Steve Mittman.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event scheduled for 6 rounds in the junior middleweight division. Introducing first in the red corner, weighing in tonight at 150 pounds, Allentown's own Mike Vega. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Vega. His opponent in the blue corner, weighing in at 145 pounds from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Ali the Pitbull Mahfouz.
Maybe the PA system went out again. One of the few problems they've had here at SportsFest.
Ali! Well, you know what? I just hope this fight takes longer than the walk into the ring, Mike, and I've got a real suspicion that it will. Ali Mahfouz has never been knocked out, and we certainly don't want to see it for the first time on SportsFest, although I'm sure the Allentonians and the Lehigh Valleyans would not mind a victory for the local hero, Mike Vega.
And we should be billing this the night of knockouts. You can see the virtual wall of people here on a beautiful night. And I want to remind you, we're going to be right here again tomorrow night with more amateur and later on professional boxing. If you can make it out here to SportsFest, the price is right. There is no admission. You're basically getting a $30 or $40 ringside ticket for free. There is no admission. Come on out here. Another great crowd on hand tomorrow. Amateur boxing gets underway at the 6 o'clock and at 9 o'clock. More professional boxing. And if you can't make it out, we're going to be live again here exclusively on TV2 Sports. But hopefully you'll be able to come join us and then watch the replays right here on TV2 Sports. And referee Tony Wolf calls the fighters to the center of the ring for their final instructions. And again, I would like to thank TV2 General Manager Don Hunt for the awards that he presented us.
Well, I'll tell you, that was nice. And I'll tell you what, Mike, I didn't get a chance to say it, but he is as deserving as anybody for putting these packages together, and the production crew, the camera work. You know, these cameramen in the corner actually have some dangerous positions here, you know?
Well, it's certainly all under Don's leadership, all the awards and everything, and we thank him for the awards. That's Mike Vega in the ring in the black with the gold trim. In the black with the white trim is Ali the Pitbull Mahfouz. And as you mentioned, don't look for a knockout on this one. I would be very, very surprised. The Pitbull's got a chin of solid granite, and so does Vega.
Vega has not been knocked out in his professional career either, so these two guys are made to go the distance here.
Vega has been down, but you can't put him out.
In fact, the very, very tough Jeff Graffis put him down 3 times in one 6-round fight, and he got up each time and delivered well. And I'll tell you what, right here, we're noticing the contrast in styles. the pit bull, of course, and in Ali Mahfouz, and Mike Vega, a real technician, trying to keep him at arm's length.
And Vega, the pit bull Mahfouz, trying to work to Vega's midsection, and you notice cleverly Vega ties him up inside, and he starts swinging his own left hooks inside. And hopefully we're going to stop our string of knockouts.
Well, I'll tell you what, both of these guys have knockout power, but as I said, since both of them have not stayed down on the canvas, I don't expect to see it here tonight. Stranger things can happen, but I think you're in for 6 rounds of solid action, which is what we're seeing here.
Once again, we are live from SportsFest at Cedar Beach in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Exclusive coverage right here on TV2 Sports. A good right-left by the pit bull, Ali Mahfouz. But Vega has got a rock-solid shin, and you can put him down, you can shake him, but he comes right back, and every time he gets hurt, you will notice he comes back a little harder.
He does, and I'll tell you what, Mahfouz gives his opponents a very hard target to hit. I mean, the guy is slick. He has very good lateral movement, and you notice how he slips punches with some of the best of them. And I'll tell you what, he has to slip punches with the best of them because we're talking about Mike Vega, a pinpoint puncher. I mean, this guy is as accurate as they get anywhere in the world, and Mahfouz can really slip those punches.
They used to say Vega could hit a fly at flying at full speed. And watch for Vega to use that right-hand lead. He does that on occasion, and he's very effective with that right-hand lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, to make that right-hand lead effective with the wide stance of Ali Mahfouz, Vega is going to have to, a little more than he's used to, step that left leg in between the wide stance of Mahfouz and make that right hand reach its target.
And we've got a barn burner here in round number 1. And John, I think we've broken the jinx. No one-round knockout.
I think we have, and the crowd shows its appreciation.
And Mayor Height is all smiles. When you get a crowd like this, you know, it doesn't happen in too many sporting events that you get wall-to-wall. And, of course, we're going to be here. All right, let's take a listen into the corner of Mike Vega.
With the jab, double the jab. You're not throwing the right. Double the jab, throw the right, Mike.
And I'll tell you what, the crowd is also cheering for the ring girl, who they haven't had a chance to see, since she doesn't come out in the first round, but only in the second round, so they didn't get a good look at her during these pro bouts.
Finally, as I wanted to say, let's take a look at some of that action in round number 1. And there's some
they're struggling for position there,
yes, they
Mike.
are.
And I'll tell you what, there's some awful hard punches coming off those clinches, and don't think that's not a strategic part of the fight.
Round number 2 in the junior middleweight division, in the black with the gold stripes is Mike Vega from Allentown. In the black with the white is Philadelphia's Ali the Pitbull Mahfouz.
And you know, he shows you only a profile of him so many times that even when you do hit him, it's only on the side and in the shoulder. Very good defensive fighter, and I'll tell you what, those winging punches hurt. But Vega is going to figure him out, I say, by the 3rd round and start coming through the defenses of Mahfouz with some of those straight jabs followed up by straight rights.
And I want to mention we're going to be here tomorrow with live coverage of the Stellar Basketball Tournament. Mike Zambelli will be here live. Then after that, we'll be here with amateur boxing. And live tomorrow night at 9 o'clock with more professional boxing right here from SportsFest 97.
Well, I'll tell you what, Vega got a little bit of a butt, unintentional, and he cracked Mahfouz 1 or 2 times. Mahfouz got a little more respect for him right now. Let's see what he does.
We got a butt. I hope we don't get a bite.
Yeah, that's all we need.
And that right hand by Mike Vega, Ali Mahfouz shaking his head. It didn't hurt.
Well, yeah, we don't need a pay-for-chew event here, and this is exciting the crowd, I'll tell you.
And a little hot dogging on the part of Ali Mahfouz. But you notice Vega just sticks to his routine. The hot dogging doesn't throw him off stride. And Vega back working that mechanic-like left jab. Inside, a right uppercut by Vega, and he tires up Mafouf.
Now, Mafouf is pretty good at holding and punching, too, if the referee lets him get away with it. But Tony Wolf has been in there a long time. He's been refereeing back in the days when you refereed, Mike.
Yes, Tony and I actually started together. I won't tell you how many years ago. Tony's been around. You won't get away with very much with Tony Wolf in that ring. And a right hand through the peekaboo stance of Mafouf. And that left hook just missing the mark. And Vega always works inside, always keeps working. On the ropes now as Vega ties up the pit bull.
Now, Mike's got to remember, he has such a stretch in that jab that when he brings it back, he likes to shoot it out real quickly. He's got to bring it back chin height and not chest height. Sometimes boxers with really quick flicking jabs make that mistake. That makes him susceptible to Ali Mafouf's right hand. He wants to avoid that the rest of this fight.
Final seconds here, round number 2 of the junior middleweight division. And an exciting round number 2. And this wall-to-wall sea of people showing their appreciation for these two fine junior middleweights.
Real good for me.
Now, let me tell you something. Okay? Start using that long jab now. You see what happens when you use that long jab? Yeah. Long jab right hands, okay? When you get inside.
John, let's take a look at some of that action from round number 2. And a little hot dogging on the part of Ali Mafouf, but you see it really doesn't get through to Mike Vega. He just goes about his business and doesn't get thrown off of stride. You don't see a lot of emotion from Mike Vega. Very poker face. He just does his job.
Very journeyman approach to this. And I'll tell you, it's interesting. His corner spent the minute in between rounds telling Ali about how to fight this guy inside. So he's happy. Obviously, his corner is happy with how Mafouf has been avoiding some of Vega's punches, but he wants him to be more powerful inside, and it looks like Mafouf, now that he's ducking down, getting inside, is unloading a few more of those punches.
And he caught Vega with a solid left hand, and they are throwing bombs here in round number 3.
Both boxers' faces reddened from the leather that they've received. None the worse for wear, both at a high energy level. And Vega's scoring points and setting up that right hand with that good left jab.
Oh, and Vega gets nailed. And this fight is give and take. And a good right to the midsection by Ali Mafouf, digging those punches in the midsection.
Well, you know, when Mafouf wings those punches, by that we mean a radial punch coming from the outside in, that's when Vega has to be first. And I'll tell you what, he can take a lot off of those punches by throwing that straight right down the middle before those punches of Mafouf loop.
And Vega gets caught with a right and a left. And they're fighting in the corner, and Vega smartly ties him up, and referee Tony Wolf sends him back in the center ring. Vega tried an uppercut, got nailed with a right.
Vega's got to use that uppercut if Mafouf comes in with that peekaboo style.
Good action by Vega to the midsection, and trying again with that uppercut, and a right over the head by Ali Mafouf, and another right over the head by Mafouf. And this is what boxing is all about. These are two evenly matched combatants, and they're giving it all they've got. And Mafouf ripping punches to the midsection. And a right uppercut gets through from Mike Vega.
That one snuck through the defenses of Mafouf, and Vega ought to remember that uppercut with the peekaboo style of Mafouf. Vega, the taller fighter, is doing a good job of slipping under those winging punches, which is a tough thing to do.
Left right gets through the guard as Mafouf fires back with a missing left hook.
Sonny Mistretta yelling in the sign of the same fashion that we've been commenting, that Vega has to be first to avoid the results of those winging, looping punches.
Oh, and a wild right. And another wild right. If he'd have connected with that one, I think Vega would have been in about the second row, but it missed. We'll be right back with plenty more action live from SportsFest right after this.